Hello everyone. In this video we will develop a plugin, and this plugin we will develop for the pre-validation. Already we have covered the plugin for the post operation, pre-operation, and this time we will cover for the pre-validation. To develop the plugin I have taken the simplest scenario. My scenario is whenever I will create the record of the student, then the student ID is automatically generated, and this format I have configured with the entity called auto number configuration. Let me show you that first. So I have the entity here. This is auto number configuration, and for this entity I have configured the record. This is the record name, student auto number, and this I have configured here, and these are the values for the format. And you can see prefix is this one, suffix here, separator, and the current number. And using this name, the student auto number name, I will be querying and finding the duplicate of if the student ID exists. Okay, so this is the auto number configuration. So my plugin will, what it will do is it will validate while creating the record of this entity. It will validate the student ID, this is the duplicate or not. If we have duplicate, then it will throw the exception like the particular student ID we found the duplicate. So this is the scenario, but this scenario you can accomplish with the different way. We have the duplicate detection rule inside the CRM. You can use that one. That is easy to configure. We have other way also. While developing this plugin, while developing the plugin for the auto number, there itself we can check, we can query through the student record, and we can find if we have duplicate. We have different way of doing that, but for developing the plugin for the pre-validation, I wanted to show you that how we can develop the pre-validation of any record, any fields for the pre-validation stage. That is why I have taken this simplest scenario. So let's proceed to develop the plugin. Before I proceed there, let me tell you the solution which we already have developed in the last videos. So in the last videos I already have covered for the auto number of the application and the post create of the plugin. Now in this video we'll cover for the pre-validation. So let me add the one class file here, that is pre-validation here on the post case. So let's take the class file here, that is, let's give the name as the student. Since we'll register the plugin on the student entity underscore, it will be for the create message, and the operation will be the pre-validation. Okay, and let's save that. And so we already using the XML SDK, so we'll use that namespace using Microsoft .xrm.sdk. And since we queried through the student record and auto configuration record, so we will use the query expression. So let's take the namespace for that also using Microsoft.xrm.sdk.query. Okay, so we got the namespace. Now let's go to the class here, and let's implement the plugin interface here. And while implementing, we'll get the execute method here. So implement. Okay, and we have to make this class as public. Okay, fine. Let me remove this, and first of all let me add the try catch block here. So below we can take the catch and then exception, take as ex, and throw the new invalid plugin execution exception, and that message is ex dot message. Okay, this is fine. Inside the try block we will be writing our logic. The first of all we'll take the context. So that is nothing but I plugin execution context. So context equals we have to call, so let me take that. So I plugin execution context, this will be getting from the service provider dot get service, and that is type of I plugin execution context. Okay, and once we have that, then we can validate whether the plugin we have registered is for the entity or not. So let me take that also. So if the context dot input parameters dot contains the target, and the context dot input parameters of target is entity, that means we have registered our plugin for the end on the entity. Okay, and now let's check, let's create the services of testing services and organization services. So let's take the testing service first. So testing service, name it as a testing service, and that equals to we have to cast. So let me take the testing service first, and then we'll take from the service provider dot get service. and that is type of the eye tracing service. And then to create the organization service, first we have to create the eye plugin eye organization service factory. So eye organization service factory, and that is give the name as service factory, that is equals to the eye organization service factory. We have to wrap this here inside the parenthesis. Okay, and then from the service provider we will be getting that, so get service, and that is type of the eye organization service factory. And from the service factory we will create the eye organization service. So eye organization service, name it as a service, that is equals to the service factory dot create organization service, and that is under the context of the logged in user, so user ID. Once we got these services, now let's check whether the plugin we register, that is for the create message, and the stage is 10 or not. So let me take that. So if the context dot message name to lowercase, and then if it is not equals to create message, create, and then context dot stage, if it is not equals to 10, means it is pre-validation, then we will return from this. Okay, once it is there, then I have to build my logic. So first of all, I will query through the this auto number configuration. So I have to query through this record to get the what are the formats for the current number and what is the current number available, so that I can get the next number, and then I can find inside this student record if we have any duplicate record or not. So that's the validation, right? So let me take this first of all the string variable, so where I can store this field data. When I'll query that, this field data I can store. So I have to take the variables for that, right? So let's take that. So we string, that is auto number, you can see, and that will be a string dot empty, and then we have the prefix that is equals to the string dot empty. Then we need the suffix that equals to string dot empty, and then we have the separator that equals to a string dot empty, and then we have the current number that equals to string dot empty. And then since we are adding the date also, right, current dates, you can see the format is year, then month, then day. So for this also we will take the variables. So here the year, that equals to string dot empty, and then month equals a string dot empty, and finally the day equals to string dot empty. So we took the variables. Now let's build the query expression. So before that, let me set the value for the year, month, and day. So for that we can take the date time, and that is equals to today equals to the date time dot now, and from the today variable we will take the year, month, and day. So it is first of all year equals to the today dot year dot to string, and then for the month equals today dot month dot to string. But before we do the toasting, we have to append the 0, right? Since the month is when with the single digit, then in the leading we are having the 0, right? You can see here when we have month as single digit, then we are in the leading we are adding 1 0 here. So we are appending 0 in the front if it is single digit. If it is two digit, then that's fine. So for this is happening for the month and the day, right? The 2-digit number. So we have to take as the 00 here. Then for the day equals the today dot day dot to string, and this same here will add it 0 in the leading. So this is done, and now let me build a query expression to get the record of this current auto number configuration. What are the values we have inside that? So let's build that. So query expression, and then QE for the auto number configuration, and that will equals to the new query expression, and the entity name will be let me take this, and then entity name will be equals to the DNLB. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so entity name is nothing but here we can get from this auto number, and here we will get the schema name. So I will take the schema name for this entity. So let it get open. I think it is dnlb underscore auto number configuration. So I can take up that here. So dnlb underscore auto number configuration. Okay, and then column set, I want to retrieve the some certain columns. So the columns which I need are the kind number, so the name, then prefix, suffix, separator, and then the this one suffix, separator, and the kind number. So these all 5 fields I need. So I have to take up that here, right? So we'll go to the code here and let me take dnlb underscore the name. Then we need the dnlb underscore the prefix. Then we need suffix and b underscore suffix, and then underscore the we have separator, and then finally the current number. So dnlb underscore the current number. So these are the columns I need. Okay, so now the condition for this will be the QE auto configuration dot criteria dot add condition, and the condition is with the name field dnlb underscore name, it should be equals to the name of this record, right? What we have configured this name. So I have to copy this. So let me copy this, and here the name field has the value. So condition operator dot equal, and that is equals to the this string. If it is matched, then we have the auto number configuration found. So let me check if we get the this is the schema name of the auto number configuration. Let me replace that. Okay, this is fine now. So with this query expression, I will be retrieving the record. So let me use the entity collection here. Entity collection, I will be using the retrieve multiple. So EC of the auto number configuration, and that will be equal to service dot retrieve multiple, and we'll pass the query of the auto number configuration. So if we have record more than 0, means we found the record of the auto number configuration. So if the EC auto number configuration dot entities dot count, if it is greater than 0, means we have the record. Then first of all I will be taking the entity, and the whatever from this list, whatever the first record will get, that I want to take to my for my logic. So it is entity, you can say the auto number, student auto number, you can say basically student auto number, that is equals to the EC auto number configuration dot entities, and from this I will be taking the first entities. Okay, and from this first entities I will be setting the prefix, suffix, and all the parameters. So let me do that. So prefix equals the student auto number, then inside that we'll have dnlb underscore prefix, and we'll make it as toString, and then we have the suffix that equals to the student auto number, then we have the dnlb underscore the suffix, then toString, then we have the separator that is equals to the student auto number, and then we have the dnlb underscore separator, and then toString, and finally the current number. So current number equals to the student auto number, then dnlb underscore the current number, and then toString. Since in this value we will be getting the current record whatever we have configured, right? But when you save the record, it will generate the new number, right? It will be next to that. So what we'll do, we have to increment this number by 1, and then we will be looking up into the student record, right? So let me increment that one. So let me take to increment that, let me parse it to the integer value. So let's take the temp integer value here. So int temp current number, that is equals to the current number, sorry, integer dot parse, and that is current number. And with this temp current number, we'll increment it by 1, and then we'll convert it back to the string. So current number equals to temp integer current number to a string, and finally we'll format the auto number. So auto number equals to the first of all prefix, then plus separator, then plus the year, then plus the month, and plus the day, then plus we'll add the separator again, then plus suffix, then plus the separator, then plus the current number. So you can see this auto number I have configured in the my pre-create plugin. If you see here inside this get method, I have the same format I have used. That is why I'm taking the same format inside my validation also, so that I'll get the same number matched. Okay, so here I have taken up with this auto number. I have to query through the student record. Now if we found any record, then we have the duplicate. So I have to build another query expression for that. So query expression of the QE for the student, that is goes to the new query expression, and entity name will be equals to the dnlb underscore student, and then column set will be equals to the new column set, and I need only the name field. So now we'll add the condition here. So query student of the student dot criteria dot add condition, and the condition is dnlb underscore name. Since the auto number it is sitting with the, you can see here inside the pre-create auto number, I'm setting to the name field in the target. You can see here inside the target I'm setting that name, so I have to find with the name whether I have this auto number matched or not, right? So here we'll take the dnlb underscore name, and that if it is equals to, so let's take the condition operator dot equal and then the auto number. If we found with that, then we have the duplicate, right? So let's take the if condition. So if um, so before we have to retrieve it, right? So entity collection, then ec of student, that is equal to service dot retrieve multiple, and then I will pass the query of the student, and now we'll check if the ec student dot entities dot count, if it is greater than 0, then means we have the duplicate, and in this case we'll throw the exception. So let's take that. So throw new exception, and we'll give the message as a duplicate student found with student id, and that is the student id. So that is nothing but the auto number which we format. So this is fine. So this is the plugin, and this much the logic we need, and we develop it. So let me format this. So I can use the formatter tool. You can download that format code, and once you run that, then you will see that the your code will be formatted automatically. The summary tab, the messages or the comments will be added to your functions and to the class. So it is formatted now. Let me build this and register this plugin to my solution. So here build it. So no error, fine. Let me copy the path of the library where it is located. So it is here. Let me copy this. Okay, now I have already opened the plugin registration tool. I have logged into my instance, and this is my plugin. This is the library, and inside this library we will update. So let me update this, and this is the library, right? And you can see the pre-validation plugin is added for me here, right? So let me register this now. So when it is successfully done, then you will have the one create and one for the update assembly. So yeah, we have one register, one create, and then one we have update. So this is done. You can see this plugin is added, but a step we have to configure. So a step, since we did for the create of the student, so this primary entity will be the student entity here, and then the second entity none, and we don't have filter attributes for the create and the execution order 1, and this is pre-validation. But one thing also you should remember that all the plugins which we will register for the pre-validation, it will be run only for the synchronous. We cannot have a synchronous plugin for the pre-validation. So that point we should note it down. Okay, so we register the plugin for the synchronous, always synchronous. Pre-validation plugins are always synchronous. Okay, so now register this step. Okay, it is done. Let me go to the student and now create the new record. Let's give some value. So test, and some mandatory fields we have to give, and inside the tab course details we can select the cycle and we can select the any course applied. Let me save this. Okay, so number 28 is already generated, right? If you see now, if you refresh this, let me close this and add the columns here to show you that the current number. Add columns and the current number. Let me add the prefix and suffix also, separator and the suffix. And you will see here the current number is 28 now for this, right? So what I'll do is I'll change this number to back to 27, and again when we create the record of the same student, then we'll have the duplicate, right? So let me change this back to 27 and we'll see the plugin is working fine. So let me change this to 27. Now once it will be created again, then we'll have the, it is 27. So already with the 28 we have the record number, right, with the same date. So now when I'll create the new record, then I should have that message pop up. So here the student duplicate, you can say, and I'm going to save now. It has saved, so means some logic not have fired here correctly. So create, let me check. Oh, we missed one thing. You can see for the pre-create plugin, the current number we are making with the zeros here, right? We are appending with the zeros. We didn't do that, so we have to do this. So we'll go to the plugin here, inside our plugin, and on the pre-validation, and here we have to do the changes. So while doing the to string here, we have to make the 6 zeros. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is fine now. So that was a mistake. Okay, let me build this again, and I will update the assembly again. Fine, go to the plugin, update the assembly. Okay, updated. Now let me since already we have created with 28, so let me change this back to 27 again. So now, so that will have the duplicate again detected. So here let me make as 27 back. Okay, and save and close. And now we have the 27. So when I'll create the new record, then I will have the duplicate, right? So let's go to the new, and you can have the student. Duplicate again. Can give the name, and then okay, now I'm going to save. Now you can see the duplicate student found with the student ID. This is the duplicate record. So if you want for other records, you can validate. So let me discard, and these are created on the 6th only. So I will be taking this one. So let me make as a 25. Then the next record is this one, which is duplicate, right? So this is duplicate. So I will do the for this. I'll register for this. So I'll go to here. Let me change this to 25, and let's save this. And yeah, 25. So already with this current or exact date format 612 for the 612, and we have the duplicate number, right? So let me create the new record. So let me save this, and yeah, we have the duplicate for this number also. So this was the plugin, guys, and I hope you can utilize this plugin for your project, and you can still modify that. You have a lot of things you can achieve with this plugin, so a lot of validations you can do. So I hope you like my video. If you have any comment on this, you can let me know, and thank you for watching this video.